Hey there. Okay, you guys, it's officially my birthday and I have officially made my cake and frosting from scratch. And I can already tell you it's not going to be very good. It looks pretty, but um, I kept reading over the instructions, kept reading the directions, kept making sure I had all my ingredients. Everything was sitting out. I had it all lined up and ready to go. Made it. It was a disaster. I'll get into more of it. I'll talk more about it later. But needless to say, I left out a very key ingredient in the cake, an entire cup of brown sugar. And I noticed when I was tasting the batter that it didn't taste very sweet. I mean, it had a little sweetness, but not very sweet. But I thought, well, I've never made this cake from scratch before, so maybe that's the way it's supposed to taste. No. But by the time I realized it, the cakes were already baking. One had already finished baking and was cooling, and the other one was in the oven baking. So there was nothing I could do about it. But thankfully, the frosting is very, very sweet. And so I've slathered on a whole bunch of frosting so that hopefully it'll kind of help. So anyway, I'm going to show you my cake now, and then I'm going to try some of it. And yeah, I'll probably sound like that rooster when I go to eat it. So here's the cake. Okay, y'all, there it is. There's my little happy birthday cake. My devil's food cake with chocolate frosting. It's actually a chocolate buttercream frosting. And so that's what it looks like. It looks good. That's Biscuit in the background. He decided he wanted to yell and scream along with the roosters when I'm trying to do this. But you know what? It just goes right along with how my day's gone so far. So, yay! But I got my cute little guy here. It's my little birthday present to myself. So, yeah. I'm going to go ahead and cut into this cake now and try some. And then I'll let you know how my basically unsweetened devil's food cake is. Yay! Well, I ate a piece of the cake, and I've had better. Last year's cake was definitely better because it was made properly. But I've had worse. Even though the cake itself was not as sweet as it's supposed to be, the frosting definitely helped with that because the frosting is extremely sweet. I mean, the frosting is basically just all sugar practically. So it really wasn't that bad, honestly. Better than I thought it was going to be because I really was just like, oh man, I thought it was just going to be complete garbage, but it actually wasn't that bad. I don't mind eating it. I won't be offended if no one else wants any though. Like when Jackie comes over tonight, to have lasagna and stuff. I already sent her a message and, told her all about this nightmare. And I told her, I said, you can try a bite of it, and then if you want more, you can have some. But if you don't, I will fully understand. And I won't be, you won't hurt my feelings because, I understand. I mean, if you don't want any, but, oh, brother, it was a mess. And it was just like I said in my last video last night when I came on just to say it's my last night being 54. I was talking about how, I just spent all day yesterday doing all this cleaning and mopping the floors and getting everything all clean and ready and everything. And I was like thinking about it. I thought, oh my God, I'm going to be making a cake from scratch. And I can just imagine the mess that I'm going to make because No matter how hard I try to be neat and tidy and stuff when I'm cooking and things like that, I always make a mess. I just can't help it. I mean, it's like, it's just, that's the way it's always been. And sure as the world, I actually did get a little bit of video footage. I don't know if I'll share it or not because it was just, I don't have a proper mixer, okay? So the little mixer thing that I do have it was a complete piece of junk, okay? Total junk. So I'm like, I'm trying. The first disaster was trying to mix the butter because in the instructions, you're supposed to use room temperature softened butter, which I did. I let it sit out, got room temperature. It was perfect. It was like it was supposed to be. Put it in the bowl, and then it said in the instructions to use your mixer with the paddle thing on it. Well, I don't have that. So I thought, okay, well, we'll try using just the little whisk thing on there. Needless to say, I had butter flying. Butter was flying across the room. I looked over, I saw butter on my blanket on my bed. Because if y'all don't know, anybody that might be seeing this that doesn't know, I have like a one-room house. So I live in the bitchin', as my ex used to call it, the bitchin', which was actually funny because it's the bedroom and the kitchen all in one room. So butter was flying onto to the bed, on the floor, everywhere. So I immediately stopped that madness and I was like, oh dear Lord. So then I just ended up just, doing it by hand, just trying to mix it up because that didn't work. And then the next disaster was trying to mix the cake mix and stuff, too, because it was, I don't have the proper mixing bowls either. So the bowl that I had put all of the dry ingredients in was full to the top. And I mean, I'm like trying to mix all these ingredients together with no space to mix it because, like an idiot, I put the butter in the big bowl, the big mixing bowl, and I should have done it the opposite. So oh God, it was just a mess. Then I had the cocoa and the sugar, and the sugar that I actually did put in the cake. That mixture was like all over the place, or maybe it was the frosting. I don't know. The whole thing was just a mess. It was just a mess. I had it everywhere. And so I had to go around and scope out where all of these splatters were all around the room to try to get it up. And so I was like looking at my beautifully clean house that I had last night, just looking like a disaster zone. It was just, it was bad. I mean, I've cleaned it up now, so it's clean now. I still have my couple of things in the sink. I washed up most of the stuff, but the big bowl that I had the frosting in and everything, I think it's still sitting in there. I've got to wash it, but yeah, not exactly how I had expected or planned to spend my birthday. I mean, luckily I still have the majority of the day left, but the whole first part of it has been disaster after disaster. Oh, oh well, it's all right. I was thinking about it though, and I thought, well, I'm thankful that I'm at least still here, because it always gets me when I hear people complaining that, oh God, I have a birthday coming up. Oh, I don't even want to think about it. I don't want to be whatever age. And it's like, well, basically when you say that, it means you don't want to be alive. Because if you are having a birthday and you are turning another age, it means you're still living. And if you don't have that birthday and you're not turning that age, it means you're dead. So personally, I have no problem with aging. I have no problem with getting older every year because it means I've gotten to live a little bit longer, you know. And so I'm thankful for that. And so yeah, the cake was a disaster, but like I said, it is edible. I can eat it. I don't really want to share it with my landlady though, because I had told her I was making the cake and was going to share it with her. But now I don't think so. I don't think so because I don't want her to taste it and go, oh God, is this how she bakes and cooks? Ew, you know? Just, oh, I'm so glad I have my little stress relieving squishy thing, which I didn't even realize when I bought it yesterday. I think that's supposed to be a cat. And I'm a crazy cat lady, so that's perfect. But I'm glad I have this because I kind of need it today. Oh, Lord. Oh, well. I'm going to try to enjoy, excuse me, I'm going to try to enjoy the rest of my day, waiting for Jackie to come over late this afternoon and bring some lasagna, which thankfully I don't have to fix because, Lord, I would not even attempt to make lasagna on my own. No, 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 no. Nope. I find recipes to be very scary. I really do. Anytime there's a recipe that has a whole bunch of ingredients and a bunch of steps to it, I usually won't try to make it because I get overwhelmed. I look at it and I'm just like, oh my God. And even today, it's like, that's why I set everything out. I had it all sitting out on the table. Every single ingredient, I went back through, double checked everything, made sure I had it all there, had all my measuring cups and measuring spoons out. Everything was sitting there ready to go. And I kept going back over the recipe step by step, looking and making sure and double checking. Okay, I said to put this, and this in there. And I double checked to make sure I had all that stuff. How I overlooked that cup of brown sugar for the cake is beyond me. I don't know how I managed to overlook that. I guess when I was reading putting the cup of the granulated sugar in, it was right next to the one with the brown sugar, and somehow I guess my eyes just did not fall on the brown sugar thing, even though the brown sugar was sitting here on the table. But somehow it never registered and it didn't click and it got left out. But anyway, it's a huge lesson learned. And if anybody else ever tries to make a cake from scratch and you happen to realize while your last layer is cooking or baking in the oven that you've left out a cup of sugar, just know that if you have really sweet frosting to go on it, it'll still be edible. Maybe it won't be as good as your cake with all of the ingredients, but you can still eat it and it's not that bad. So it's just maybe a little less fattening or something. I don't know. But anyway, I'm going to go and figure out what I'm going to do for a while until Jackie comes over and just laugh about this, I guess. I've actually laughed pretty hard about this, just sitting there thinking about it. I was putting on some makeup for a change, and while I was sitting there, it was going through my mind, and I just burst out laughing because I was just like, it's really just so me. This really was such a me experience. It doesn't surprise me, really. It doesn't. But anyway, I'm going to enjoy my day, and I'll probably make another video later after Jackie comes over, because I'll probably want to tell you how my day went, besides this disastrous nightmare. And so I'll talk to you again later. Bye.